The star of the Fast and Furious movies was a passenger in the red Porsche, which burst into flames when it crashed. He and the driver were pronounced dead at the scene.
Some celebrity deaths are so shocking they haunt us for years. But when these stars lose their lives in car accidents, the impact is even more devastating. From high-speed crashes to tragic mishaps, these untimely deaths remind us just how fragile life can be. Let's take a look at the most disturbing celebrity car crash tragedies. James Dean. On September 30th, 1955, James Dean, young, rising, and just 24, was speeding towards Salinas, California, in his beloved Porsche 550 Spider. Known for his rebellious spirit and enigmatic charm, Dean was quickly capturing Hollywood's imagination. But beyond acting, he was also deeply passionate about racing, a pursuit that would soon lead to his tragic end. Dean's early life in Marion, Indiana, was marked by a restless drive and an intense desire to make a name for himself. After studying drama at UCLA, he quickly gained fame with his breakthrough role in East of Eden. His brooding charisma and raw talent promised a dazzling future, yet his love for speed and danger was undeniable. Riding high on the success of East of Eden, Dean treated himself to a Porsche 356 Speedster, soon trading it for the faster, more powerful Porsche 550 Spider he called Little Bastard. That fateful day, Dean and his mechanic, Rolf Wütherich, decided to drive the Little Bastard to Salinas instead of towing it, seeking more time on the road. Accompanied by stunt driver Bill Hickman and photographer Sanford H. Roth in a support vehicle, they embarked on the journey north, briefly stopping along US Route 99. At 3:30 p.m., Dean was cited for speeding, hinting at his notorious need for speed. After refueling at Blackwell's Corner, they continued westward, heading for Route 466. Around 5:45 p.m., Dean was speeding west as a 1950 Ford Tudor, driven by 23-year-old Donald Turnipseed, approached from the opposite direction. Turnipseed's car suddenly made a left turn, crossing directly into the path of Dean's Porsche. Dean tried to swerve, but it was too late. The cars collided head-on, sending Little Bastard airborne before crashing into a gully by the road. Authorities arrived swiftly to find Dean unconscious with severe injuries, including a broken neck and multiple fractures. Wütherich, thrown from the vehicle, survived but sustained serious injuries. Turnipseed, the Ford driver, walked away with minor injuries. Dean was rushed to Paso Robles War Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 6:20 p.m. The sudden death of James Dean shocked the world.
You know, a young man who was in his prime, who had life going for him, lost his life here, you know.
A month later, Rebel Without a Cause premiered, forever sealing his status as a tragic hero and a Hollywood legend lost too soon. His untimely death cast a haunting shadow over the car and racing culture, becoming an enduring cautionary tale. Jane Mansfield. Similarly, another Hollywood icon, Jane Mansfield, would face her own tragic end on the road over a decade later. In June 1967, actress Jane Mansfield was still famous, though her Hollywood shine had started to fade. Known for her daring roles and striking appearance, she was a cultural icon, especially remembered for provocative roles and headline-grabbing stunts. Tragically, her life ended in a mysterious car accident on June 29, 1967, a night that has fueled countless rumors and urban legends ever since. Born as Vera Jane Palmer on April 19, 1933 in Pennsylvania, Mansfield dreamed of fame from a young age. She married Paul Mansfield at 17, and the two moved to Hollywood, where Jane pursued her acting career. With intelligence and charisma, she crafted a bold, seductive public persona that grabbed attention, earning her the title of Playboy Playmate of the Month in February 1955. Mansfield pushed boundaries, famously becoming the first American actress to appear nude on screen in the 1963 film Promises. Despite her success, Hollywood tastes shifted away from blonde bombshells like her, and her career slowed. By June 1967, she was traveling frequently for nightclub gigs and minor appearances. That fateful night, she, her boyfriend Sam Brody, and driver Ronnie Harrison left a club in Mississippi, aiming for a New Orleans television appearance, while her children and chihuahuas slept in the back of the car. As they drove on Highway 90, thick mist from a mosquito-fogging truck combined with the natural swamp fog, creating dangerously low visibility. Unable to see the slow-moving truck ahead, Their car crashed into it at 80 miles per hour. The accident was devastating. Mansfield, Brody, and Harrison were killed instantly. A wig left tangled in the windshield led to rumors of her decapitation.
Fateful drive down a rural road, and an infamous rumor of a truly horrific death.
Though the coroner clarified it was severe head trauma, not decapitation, Mansfield's tragic death led to a pivotal safety change. Her accident inspired the creation of Mansfield bars, which are now standard safety bars installed on the back of semi-trucks to prevent cars from sliding underneath. Paul Walker. Decades later, a similarly devastating accident would claim the life of another beloved public figure. On November 30th, 2013, Paul Walker's day began like any other. The 40-year-old actor, known for his role in the Fast and Furious franchise, was spending a quiet morning with his mother and 15-year-old daughter, Meadow. They were planning to buy a Christmas tree together when Paul got a reminder about a charity event he needed to attend. Without knowing what fate held for him, he said goodbye to his family and left. Paul Walker's journey to stardom began early. Born Paul William Walker IV on September 12, 1973, in Glendale, California, he was surrounded by the entertainment world. With a mother who modeled and a father who boxed, Paul's first taste of fame came at 2 years old, appearing in a Pampers commercial. By the late 1990s, he landed roles in films like Pleasantville and She's All That. His big break, however, came in 2001 with The Fast and the Furious, component placement, where he played Brian O'Connor, a role that made him a Hollywood star. Paul's love for cars extended beyond acting. Known for his passion for racing and charity work, he co-founded the non-profit Reach Out Worldwide. It was at a charity event for this organization that Paul's life tragically ended. The event was held at a car shop owned by Walker and his friend, Roger Rodas, a former race car driver. Afterward, the two decided to take a ride in a 2005 Porsche Carrera GT, a powerful car notorious for being difficult to control. Just after leaving the event around 3:30 in the afternoon, their car, reportedly traveling at speeds up to 100 miles per hour, lost control, hit a curb, then collided with a tree and a light post before bursting into flames. Onlookers tried to help, but both men died instantly. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department ruled that speed and old tires caused the accident, confirming no drugs or alcohol were involved.
This morning on the deaths of Fast and Furious star Paul Walker and his friend, killed in a fiery car accident over the weekend.
The crash's shock rippled through Hollywood, and Meadow Walker later filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Porsche. They eventually settled in 2015 under confidential terms. Paul's untimely death left a lasting legacy, with fans setting up a roadside memorial at the crash site, and his brother stepping in to help finish Furious 7 in his memory. Paul Walker's loss remains a tragic reminder of a beloved star's life cut short. Like Walker, other cultural icons have left behind powerful legacies that resonate long after their passing. Bessie Smith. Bessie Smith, the unforgettable Empress of the Blues, left a legacy that shook the foundations of American music. Her life, filled with hardship and triumph, captivated audiences and broke boundaries. But her untimely death also became shrouded in controversy and rumors. Born on April 15, 1894, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Smith faced challenges early on. Orphaned as a child, she turned to singing on street corners to survive, performing with her siblings to earn spare change. Her talent quickly grew, and she joined a traveling show led by Ma Rainey, another blues icon who helped shape her stage persona. By the 1920s, Smith had taken the blues world by storm. Her booming, soulful voice earned her a contract with Columbia Records in 1923, propelling her to fame as one of the most popular female blues singers of her era. But as the Great Depression hit, Smith's fame began to fade. To keep performing, she traveled across the country, singing in smaller clubs and theaters. It was on one of these trips that tragedy struck, marking the start of one of music's most heartbreaking stories. On September 26, 1937, Smith and her partner, Richard Morgan, were driving on US Route 61 when they collided with a slow-moving truck. Smith suffered horrific injuries, with her arm nearly severed. Though Dr. Hugh Smith, a local physician, stabilized her as best he could, she succumbed to her injuries. Following her death, a myth took hold that Smith had been denied medical care due to segregation, an idea later dismissed by Dr. Smith. Despite her passing, her influence never faded. Thousands attended her funeral, and years later, Janis Joplin and her friend Juanita Green funded a headstone to honor her legacy. Smith's story, rich with triumph and tragedy, continues to inspire and captivate. Judy Tyler. Similarly, Judy Tyler was a young American actress whose rising star left an unforgettable impact on Hollywood in the 1950s.
Vince, don't you know the meaning of the word courtesy?
We don't use it much in the backwoods. Let's eat.
Known best for her role in the iconic film Jailhouse Rock, alongside Elvis Presley, Tyler's performances captivated audiences with her talent and charm, making her a promising new face in cinema. Born on October 9, 1932 in Tacoma, Washington, Tyler found her way into acting early on. With a natural flair, she quickly gained attention for her work on screen. Her breakout role came when she portrayed Peggy Van Alden in Jailhouse Rock. Released in 1957, this film became a significant hit, and Tyler's ability to hold her own against the legendary Elvis Presley solidified her as an emerging star to watch. However, just as her career was taking off, a tragedy cut her life short. On July 4, 1957, Tyler died in a devastating car accident in Wyoming, only days after she wrapped up filming for Jailhouse Rock. She was just 24 years old. Her untimely passing left fans and Hollywood in shock, as many had looked forward to seeing her rise to even greater heights. Judy Tyler's brief yet impactful career remains a reminder of both her exceptional talent and the unpredictability of life. Despite her short time in the limelight, she left behind a legacy cherished by fans of classic cinema. Tyler's story lives on as a testament to the enduring appeal of Hollywood's golden era, where promising stars like her still shine brightly in memory. Grace Kelly. Before she became Princess Grace of Monaco, Grace Kelly was one of Hollywood's most celebrated actresses, known for her elegance and beauty. Her transformation from screen royalty to actual royalty enchanted the world. Tragically, her life was cut short on September 14, 1982, after a car accident, sparking global mourning and intense curiosity about the accident's details. Grace Kelly was born on November 12, 1929, and from an early age, she was passionate about the arts. After finishing high school, she moved to New York City to pursue acting. Just 2 years into her career, she was cast alongside legends like Clark Gable and Ava Gardner. Director Alfred Hitchcock soon noticed her talent, casting her in 3 major films, which cemented her reputation as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. While filming The Swan in 1955,
think of all those roofs you could climb over.
Who did you call me?
Kelly met Prince Rainier III of Monaco. Their romance unfolded like a fairy tale. By 1956, Kelly left Hollywood behind to marry Rainier and become Princess Grace. She embraced her new role wholeheartedly, focusing on her royal duties and raising their 3 children. On September 13, 1982, Princess Grace and her daughter, Princess Stephanie, were driving back to Monaco from their country home. Grace decided to drive herself, but as they navigated the winding roads, she suffered a minor stroke, lost control, and the car plunged 100 feet down a hillside. Princess Stephanie survived with minor injuries, but Grace was left in critical condition. After 24 hours in a coma, she was pronounced brain dead, and Prince Rainier made the painful decision to remove her from life support. Grace's death was surrounded by rumors, including claims that Stephanie, unlicensed and underage, might have been driving. Stephanie, however, has consistently denied this, saying she exited the car from the driver's side due to damage to the passenger door. On September 18, 1982, Grace Kelly's funeral drew nearly 100 million viewers worldwide, with global dignitaries, celebrities, and royalty gathering to honor her life. The tragic death of Princess Diana. It was supposed to be a night of elegance, a dinner at the Ritz in Paris, followed by a quiet drive through the city's iconic landmarks, shining brightly under the night sky. But that evening ended in tragedy. Princess Diana, only 36 years old, lost her life in a fatal car crash that would continue to haunt the world for years to come. On August 31, 1997, Diana and her boyfriend Dodi Fayed were in a car with a driver and a bodyguard, speeding through Paris. Behind them, paparazzi motorcycles and cars followed. The luxury vehicle approached the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, where a shocking crash occurred. Witnesses described it as a loud explosion, the kind that could be heard for miles.
I opened the door and I look inside. 4 people
Two were apparently dead, no reaction.
Seconds later, the night air was filled with the sound of car horns blaring. The driver had slumped forward, his foot still pressing on the horn. Meanwhile, camera shutters clicked in the eerie silence. Diana's world, filled with the glowing lights of Paris, turned into darkness. In the moments that followed, it became clear that this was no ordinary crash. The world would soon learn that Princess Diana, the beloved people's princess, was dead. It was a story that spread like wildfire across the globe, leaving millions in shock and grief. The Associated Press published this account of the tragedy just days after the crash. The world had lost a global icon, and her death, even after 25 years, still leaves a lasting impact on everyone who remembers that fateful night. This tragedy raised many questions about privacy, fame, and the consequences of relentless media attention. Brandon DeWilde. In a similar vein to the global mourning for Grace Kelly, the tragic loss of Brandon DeWilde at such a young age left Hollywood in shock. Brandon DeWilde was a gifted American actor who captured the spotlight as a young star in the early 1950s. Born on April 9, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, he first won audiences over with his memorable role in the 1953 Western classic, Shane. Playing Joey, a boy who idolizes the heroic gunslinger Shane, portrayed by Alan Ladd, DeWilde's performance stood out for its heartfelt innocence and depth, earning him critical acclaim and setting him up as one of Hollywood's most promising young actors. As he grew older, DeWilde's career evolved. He skillfully transitioned into diverse roles in both film and television, showing impressive versatility. Some of his notable appearances included roles in the movie The Cowboys, starring alongside John Wayne, and on the popular television show The Twilight Zone. His talent continued to draw attention and admiration from fans and critics alike, with many expecting him to become a major Hollywood star. Tragically, Brandon DeWilde's life and career were cut short. On July 6, 1972, at just 30 years old, he died in a car accident in Colorado. His vehicle collided with a guardrail, ending his life far too soon and leaving behind a legacy of immense talent and untapped potential. Today, DeWilde is remembered not only for his early achievements, but for the promise he showed in his too brief career. Billy Martin. On Christmas Day in 1989, the sports world was rocked by the shocking death of Billy Martin, the fiery New York Yankees manager. Martin, a legendary figure in baseball, was behind the wheel of a rented Ford truck when disaster struck. As he and his friend, William Reedy, drove along icy roads in Fenton, New York, the truck slid off the road, careening down an embankment. It traveled 300 feet before slamming into a concrete culvert. The crash was devastating. Martin was violently thrown into the windshield, suffering a broken neck and other life-threatening injuries. Tragically, he was pronounced dead at the scene. Reedy, who survived, broke his pelvis and ribs but would live to tell the story. But how did the man known for his fiery passion and leadership end up in such a tragic fate? At 55, Martin was at the height of his career, managing the Yankees to great success. He had been a pivotal figure in the team's multiple World Series victories.
A free kick and one lousy umpire. Congratulations on your day. This is the greatest honor I've ever had.
And was beloved by fans for his no-nonsense approach to the game. His death not only shook the baseball community, but also served as a stark reminder of how fragile life can be. Though his life was cut short, Martin's legacy endures. The fiery manager's dedication to the sport is remembered by fans and players alike, making him a symbol of perseverance and determination. Would his bold leadership have carried the Yankees to more championships? We'll never know. Lisa Lopes. Lisa Left Eye. Lopes, known for her role in TLC, was a pioneering figure in music.
Now with TLC and the new record many people thought would never happen, and that includes the members of this phenomenally successful female group.
But her life tragically ended on April 25, 2002. The rapper and singer, part of the iconic 1990s group, had been feeling creatively restricted after the release of TLC's Fan Mail in 1999. This led to a temporary break in the group's activities. Lopez was an adventurer at heart, frequently visiting Honduras, where she had a condo near a healing village. In early 2002, she returned for a spiritual retreat, accompanied by her family, friends, and producers. She was also working on a documentary about Honduras and the Garifuna people, deeply immersing herself in their culture and traditions. Tragically, while in Honduras, Lopez died in a car accident. She was driving a rented car when she swerved to avoid another vehicle. The car rolled over multiple times after hitting 2 trees. Although 7 others were in the car, Lopez was the only one who died, suffering a fatal head injury. Her death was a shocking loss to the music world, especially as she had once expressed to director Lauren Lazan that she wouldn't be surprised if she died young, like fellow artist Tupac Shakur. In the years since her passing, Lopez's legacy has lived on through her contributions to TLC and the documentaries about her life, like Last Days of Left Eye. The car accident remains under investigation, with some speculating about possible mechanical issues, though foul play was ruled out. Lope's impact continues to be felt by her fans and bandmates, who remember her as an artist who was passionate about exploring new cultures and spirituality. Marc Bolan. In a similar vein, Marc Bolan, a British musician and frontman of the glam rock band T-Rex, left a lasting impact on the music world. His career was tragically cut short when he died in a car crash on September 16, 1977, at the age of 29. Bolan was a passenger in a car that collided with a motorcycle on London's A40 Westway. He suffered severe head injuries and passed away soon after arriving at the hospital. His death shocked fans and fellow musicians alike, marking the loss of a true rock icon. Bolan's music blended surrealism and rock, aiming to capture a unique, otherworldly vibe. He once said, "My idea of rock and roll is that subterranean homesick blues feel surrealistic rock and roll." One of his favorite lines, "Cloak full of eagles," reflected his vision, a mix of dreamlike imagery and rock intensity. His ability to blend poetic visuals with bold sounds made him stand out in the glam rock era. In the world of rock, meeting an idol often shatters the illusion. As a rock journalist, it's common to find that the reality doesn't match the fantasy. The excitement of meeting a legend can sometimes turn disappointing, a harsh reminder that idols are human too. This truth hit hard when Marc Bolan tragically passed, leaving his fans to remember him not just as a musician, but as a symbol of the era's vibrant energy and untamed creativity. Bolan's legacy lives on through his music and his influence on future generations. His life may have been brief, but his impact on rock music endures. The rock and roll world may have lost a star, but Marc Bolan's music continues to inspire, forever etched in music history. Mel Ott. While Bolan's impact on music was undeniable, another figure's contributions to his field remain just as legendary. Mel Ott, a legendary American baseball player,
if you don't think Mel Ott was one of the greatest players of all time, then you're out of your mind.
Played his entire 15-year career with the New York Giants. He became famous not only for his impressive skills, but for his unique ability to get intentionally walked, even with the bases loaded. In fact, Ott set an MLB record by drawing 7 consecutive walks in a single game. He was also a 12-time All-Star and earned a spot in the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1951. But his life took a tragic turn on October 21, 1958. Ott was driving home after a Giants game when the unexpected happened. His car veered off the road and crashed into a pole in the Bronx, New York. At just 49 years old, Mel Ott died instantly, leaving fans and the baseball world in shock. Ott's death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. His achievements on the field, especially his record for walks, solidified his place as one of the game's greats. He was buried in Metairie Cemetery, where fans still honor his memory. Interestingly, Ott was also related to the late Bishop Stanley Joseph Ott of the Diocese of Baton Rouge. This connection adds another layer to his legacy, linking him not just to baseball, but to his community. Ott's untimely death was a loss to the world of sports, but his remarkable career continues to inspire new generations of baseball players. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.